Shares of Uber higher this morning, almost 4% after reporting its first profitable quarter on that adjusted basis, thanks to upbeat performance in Ride and Eats. It did post an overall loss due to the drop of value in its stake in China's ride-hailing company, Didi. This is CEO Dara Khosrowshahi earlier on Squawk.
What we saw in the second quarter earlier this year is that the demand for transportation and mobility, as well as food, frankly, was growing much faster than supply. So the team went to work to make sure that we communicate to drivers and couriers out there. This is flexible work. The earnings opportunities are incredible, and the results speak for themselves.
He said the corporate travel rebound is unmistakable, up 60% last couple months.
Yeah, and he mentioned, look, it's easier to find drivers, which is one of the key metrics. The thing that I thought was very interesting was people still want to get deliveries at home. That business turned out to be really good. I think there was a group of people who felt, wait a second, now everybody's going to go out. But it turns out you're using them for a lot more things than just dinner.
You liked Drizzly back in the...
Drizzly was brilliant. Yes. That's the liquor delivered at home. Look, I think that this is, by the way, that Tony Hsu's doing a good job at DoorDash. These are companies that people thought might be Peloton, and they're just not Peloton.
Some worried that, like on grocery, for example, grocery margins in general are thin. How long can they afford to pay those kinds of fees?
No, it's a great question. And I think that I was prepared to hear a little more skepticism about it. Dara's built up a lot of credibility. If he says if they're making money, they're making money. And it was a good call. Delivery and mobility, a very good call. He's a pro, and he doesn't duck when things are bad, and I like that. But the biggest pro was Chesky. Airbnb.
Yes, we didn't touch on it.
I love that quarter.
122 beats 75.
He and Expedia was very good. I think we have maybe a soundbite from Expedia. But when you listen to Chesky, you have to realize that Airbnb, that's the way people are going to have vacation. And that was before international. It has become the way people, on weekends, they go to a nicer part of town. I mean, everything, this thing's coming together.
And as Chesky would argue, now that 3-day weekends, 4-day weekends are almost normal, almost routine, the idea of taking a long weekend at an Airbnb makes more sense.
It is. I remember telling him when my daughter was teaching English in Madrid in a big lockdown. She wasn't allowed to leave Madrid. But every weekend she went to a new place to stay. And I said, isn't that amazing? He said, no, Jim, that's what people do now. And I said, God, I'm so out of touch. But I said, but then again, he does have a complete book of business that shows you everything. He's a remarkable CEO. CEO with a heart, doing unbelievable things. There's some really good CEOs in this new crop, and Chesky's one of the leaders.